All right, hello, welcome to Double Play Sports. I'm James alongside Pat. Today we're here with former MLB player Xavier Scruggs. Xavier, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first question I have for you is growing up, who were some of your mentors that pushed you to be your best?
Yeah, growing up, I had quite a few people. I was very blessed to have a lot of people in my corner. One of the biggest ones was probably David Justice. He lived in the San Diego area where I grew up. So he was somebody that I was able to talk to a lot, whether it be hitting, whether it be stuff outside of baseball. That was big for me. And then just having, another baseball figure was Tony Gwynn. That was another one. And then just having some family friends that were really supportive, that were able to help me kind of understand how to navigate certain decision making processes and just trying to look out for the best for me. So that was big for me, and I really leaned on mentors, and that's one thing I really stress a lot with the youth today, especially. Is like, don't be afraid to ask somebody outside of your family circle for help, and just being able to lean on them.
So, like you said, you grew up in California, which is arguably the most competitive state for baseball that there is. So, who are some of the players that you tried to mirror whenever you saw them on the field?
Um, I there wasn't really players that I tried to mirror. I just tried to. I understood that it was going to be important for me to try to be the best version of myself. As far as maybe some practice stuff, like mentioning Tony Gwynn and how much he was able to, uh, really solidify his game by using the tee. Like that was really important for me. So like understanding how to use the batting tee, right? How to really dissect my swing and being able to repeat the same swing over and over and be consistent with it. So I guess it wasn't really mirroring players on the field, but more mirroring their practice routines was really important for me. And I understood that, okay, if major leaguers are doing this, this is something I probably should be doing, So that was something I really tried to do. And whenever I heard of certain things that major leaguers do, I tried to do those things in practice as well.
Yeah. So you attended college at UNLV and you hit 328 for your career there. After your final season there, you were drafted in the 19th round by the Cardinals. What was draft night like for you?
Yeah, the draft was really cool, man. Like an experience that, you never really know until it actually happens how it feels, right? So for me, I didn't know where I was going to be drafted. I had talked to scouts, and they were saying maybe the fifth to the 10th round, somewhere around there, I believe it was. Um, and I remember like after it getting past the 10th round, I was kind of disappointed. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop watching this draft. I'm going to, go do something to take my mind off of it. And I think I went to the gym just to kind of get my mind away from things and started getting some calls like, hey, X, will you sign? And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. Like, I've been ready. So, but finally hearing my name from the Cardinals and them calling saying, hey, we've drafted you, it doesn't get much better than that feeling wise. Something that you've worked so hard for a long period of time actually comes into fruition. It's just an amazing feeling, and just understanding, okay, now I get to do this thing like for a living. Now I can work hard enough to give myself an opportunity to get to the major leagues. Like that, those types of feelings and those types of things going through my mind was like the best opportunity for me to feel those things.
A lot of 19th round draft picks won't even see an inning of major league play, and you had to beat the odds, and you did. But starting off your career, what was your mindset like with that on your shoulders?
Yeah, my mindset was just like, man, I got to get better. I looked at who was in the major leagues in front of me, and it was Albert Pujols, and I was like, if I'm ever gonna get to the major leagues, like, I gotta at least find a way to get somewhere near as good as Albert Pujols. Not think about trying to beat the next guy out, whoever's in single A, double A, triple A, but let me think about, okay, if I want to compare myself to somebody who's one of the best in this game, that's what I need to strive towards. So it gave me the motivation to say, okay, let me work day after day to get there, instead of saying, okay, I need to be better than so and so. No, I need to be better than him, or who's behind me. No, it's more just like, okay, I need to just work on myself and get to that type of level.
So playing the beginning parts of your career in the minors, what was life like playing for those Cardinals affiliates?
Yeah, it was cool, man. I think the biggest thing was like kind of developing those relationships with a lot of the guys that I was around. I came up with a lot of the same guys that actually ended up making it to the big leagues. Most specifically, a Lance Lynn, a Tommy Pham, Shelby Miller. Um, Jermaine Curtis, Colton Wong, Greg Garcia. So a lot of the guys that I came up with ended up making it to the major leagues. And it was just kind of a great group of guys to be around, guys that I still talk to this day. So building those relationships was one of the coolest things. And then obviously going to some of those different cities and experiencing those different types of areas, right? Like every area is different. So it was really cool to be able to see some of those places, a Memphis, a Springfield, West Palm Beach, Quad Cities, Iowa, Batavia, New York. Yeah, so all those places were really cool to just check it out and see how different they are.
So after a breakout season for you, for the Memphis Redbirds in 2014, you got the call up, and on September 4th, you made your major league debut. What was it like stepping on that MLB field for the first time?
Yeah, man, I still get chills to this day, like thinking about it. Just something that you work hard for your whole entire life, and you don't quite know if it's going to happen. You have the confidence in yourself. You work so hard for it, but once it's actually into fruition, actually happens, like it's a totally different experience, a totally different feeling. The smallest percent of people can say that they've actually had a dream and gone after that dream, and then even a smaller percent actually catch that dream. So understanding that I was in the very smallest percentages, made me feel really special. It made me feel like I arrived, made me feel like all my work was finally worth it. um, and then just knowing that I was able to accomplish something that not a lot of people were able to do. So feeling that all at one time, and then also looking around the stadium and seeing, okay, this is actually a major league stadium. Like this fits 50, 60,000. It was just, it left me in awe just knowing that I had that chance to be there and to do that.
So after spending most of 2015 in the minors, you were part of the 2015 Cardinals playoff push late in the season. Who was the biggest like clubhouse presence on that team?
The biggest clubhouse presence, definitely a Yadier Molina. I mean, he's not super vocal, but somebody that has a huge presence. Adam Wainwright was a huge presence. Matt Holliday, some of those guys that had been there and had established themselves were some of the biggest presences. And I can't say that they were the most vocal guys, but there were guys that like when they had something to say, like everybody knew it was time to listen.
So throughout your career, what was just like your favorite ballpark that you ever got to play at? What was the best time of your career playing at the ballpark?
Yeah, my favorite ballpark definitely probably Chicago Wrigley Field. Just getting to be a part of like understanding that I think it's been there since 1918. So like all the old greats played there. And then, the fans are like right on you so they can yell and boo and you feel like they're so into the game. And then the Cardinals Cubs rivalry is just amazing in itself. And then the city of Chicago, my brother lived there, so it was cool to visit there. And then also just the food and the like the restaurants and the shopping, like just one of the places I love to be at. And then I guess I would also say New York too. Like in New York was a place that I never really got to see much of before I got to the big league. So that was really cool to check out that city.
So on September 25th, 2016, a teammate of yours, Jose Fernandez, tragically passed away in a boating accident. How was your relationship with Jose, and how did this kind of motivate and affect the team?
Yeah, man, it was tough. Me and Jose were actually, starting to get really close. I hadn't spent a lot of time with him like a lot of guys had because came up with the Cardinals organization, but in my short time with the Marlins organization, it was really cool to get to know him. Somebody that joked around all the time with me, so we had a good rapport. And it was big, man. It was tough on the team. Obviously, anytime something like that happens, it's tragic. So that definitely a reason for the team to kind of rally behind one another. And it'll be kind of that family aspect for a long period of time because once you experience something like that with a group of guys, it's something you'll never forget. So definitely a big motivating factor, definitely a huge blow to the team, the organization. They're you know, still going through some repercussions of that today. So, man, just a huge loss in a person that was a great dude, great smile, great personality. Man, it was tough.
Yeah, one follow-up question to that, and on your first home game back, D. Gordon hit a really, really emotional home run. Can you speak to just that moment?
Yeah, it was one of the most surreal moments I've ever been a part of in life in general. Just knowing that D had never hit a ball in his life that far. It went upper deck, and just everybody felt the moment, that it was like definitely for Jose, and definitely Jose had something to do with it. It was just one of those moments that really brought the team together, but also broke the team down in tears, because it felt so surreal. It was definitely an emotional moment for everybody.
So after that 2016 season, you ended up signing with the NC Dinos of the KBO, where you absolutely raked over there in 2017. How much different was baseball overseas?
Yeah, it was different in the sense of like culturally, right? So the actual baseball on the field wasn't too different. It was more the aspect that I was dealing with a totally different culture, totally different priorities, totally different experiences. Um, but baseball is baseball. Wherever you play it, it's the same game. So that was for me. That was the easier adjustment. The biggest was trying to get used to not understanding what people are saying, not understanding what words I'm seeing on buildings, trying to figure out where to eat. So all those things outside of the stadium were some of the tougher things. But baseball there was amazing. Spent 2 amazing years there. My first child was born in Korea, so that was an experience in itself. So just so many different sightseeing opportunities I had too there. Met a lot of cool people, a lot of great teammates, and a lot of people that I still talk to this day. So it was quite an amazing experience, and the fans are crazy over there too. So had a lot of good memory, have a lot of good memories of them cheering for me, and still a lot of them show me a lot of love.
Yeah. So kind of talking about that, when you're hitting the ball really well, like you were in 2017, what kind of strategies do you use to keep up the higher level of play?
Uh, Man, I don't know if there's necessarily strategies. I would just say that, um, it's just more about being consistent and just continuing to stick with your plan. For me, it was one of the biggest things was like, hey, the stuff that I was doing in the States, I know if I consistently do it well, it'll transfer over to Korea. It'll transfer over anywhere because MLB is the best breed of baseball you'll ever see. So for me, it was just about being consistent, honing in on my swing, staying focused on my plan, um, offensively, defensively, base running, all that. Just being open to new experiences. Understanding that there's going to be a lot of stuff that I can't control culturally. So it was important for me to just kind of, um, you know, just chill when instances come that I wasn't used to. And that was probably one of the tougher things is making sure you have the right mindset going into playing baseball over there. And I think My wife had a big part to deal with that, just making sure that my head was on straight, and just having fun over there.
So throughout your baseball career, who was one guy that you feel like you just like couldn't hit? You went up there and he was just the toughest pitcher you had to face.
And Chris Sale gave me a lot of fits, I feel like, when I faced him, just because of his arm delivery, his motion. He's so tall and lengthy. It felt like the ball got on you immediately, even like off speed slider, change up, whatever it was. I'm trying to think who else. He was definitely Chapman was a tougher one too. I normally face lefties, see lefties pretty well, but those are two tough lefties that have totally different arm motions, arm deliveries that are tough to hit.
So you currently work a lot in social media on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, where you have amassed thousands of followers. Uh, what advice can you give, and do you recommend that other former players or current players get into the social media game?
Yeah, I definitely recommend that they do that. One of the biggest reasons is because I think that, being able to show people who you are outside of, the game, showing them how you think, showing them what you like to do, I think that helps you in the long run, especially out when you're done playing the game. You can have some other opportunities to do some other things that you like. So showing people those things, I think, is really cool because everybody wants an inside look. Everybody wants to know the story that you've been through, your journey. So feel like for me, it's always been something that I've tried to do because I know I would want it, as a fan of the game. So social media has been fun for me. It's been fun to be a part of, and I kind of realized at a young age, I think I was like 21 or 22, that no matter where you are as far as like double A, triple A, big leagues, single A, whatever it may be, like as an athlete you have an influence, and if you can use it in a positive manner, that's always gonna be something that people are gonna draw towards. So for me, it was always important to use my voice, use my influence, my platform in a positive way, because I'm not just a baseball player. Baseball has taken up 3 out of my 9 innings of life. So I got 6 more innings to go. So how can I best use that?
Well, thank you so much, Xavier. It was great having you on.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.